Hey guys, welcome back to Zach Going Fire. Today I'm going to go over our quarterly trading signals, what we're going to buy and what we're going to sell and how much. So I'm pretty excited because I don't get to do this often, only once every 3 months. And in the past, I have shared some of our trading, and I've always been careful with what I show on screen because I don't want to put my account numbers out there. Also, I am careful to say that I did not come up with this system. I try to follow Jason Kelly's system. I will have a link to his website below with his 3-sig plan, which I follow with one of my accounts. You can follow that just by reading his book. You don't need to subscribe to his letter. With his 6-sig and 9-sig plans and his income sig plan, you do need to subscribe to his letter to get the full details. I will share what the signals this quarter provided with what I'm doing, and I'm sharing this so that you can see what other people getting ready to retire early from following Jason Kelly's systems do. But you need to actually read through his website and subscribe to his service for full details, because there are definitely rules that you need to know for certain situations, and I'm not going to cover all of those rules. I'm just going to show you what the signals this quarter show and how our accounts follow that. Also, I'm only going to show my accounts. Mindy also has her own accounts that mirror mine, so there's no need to duplicate that on screen. So let's get started. Okay, starting with my 401k, I'm logged into my McLean 401k with a balance of $1,624.91 as of April 2nd. This account, I follow Jason Kelly's 3-sig plan. I'm pretty happy with the performance this year of the plan. I'm up 2% for the year. You can see that right here. The market is down about 1%, so we're beating the market with this plan so far this year. The signal with following Jason Kelly's letter, I usually just follow what his letter is. I could calculate it myself, but it comes out with after you follow the signal, you should have a balance of 93% this quarter in the small cap funds. So my balance is already just about at 93% with 92.87%. And when I tried to make the rebalance, my 401k won't actually allow that because it's so close. There's not enough funds to rebalance. So currently there are no sell funds available to sell for reallocation with that small of a balance. So it's not going to make any trade, but it's close enough to 93% that it's going to be just fine with that. So the new discovery value R6, that's in the 401k, that's the closest thing to Jason Kelly's small cap fund. And then I use Fidelity US Bond Index for the general bond fund with this 3-sig plan. Now I'm on Jason Kelly's website. Today is April the 5th, and this morning his letter shows that the 3-sig is calling for 93% allocation to the stock fund. 6-sig calls for 84% allocation to the stock fund, and 9-sig calls for 83% allocation to the stock fund. I highly recommend that you subscribe to Jason's service. Don't follow these numbers blindly. In his service, he explains how to calculate these numbers when different rules apply to the numbers. But he has a calculator, which I will pull up now to show. It makes it easy to figure out those numbers. With this 369 calculator, you can take numbers from your own investing account, plug your numbers into these fields, and then hit calculate, and it will provide to you what you need to do. And then he also has this allocator tab, and that's what I use. That makes it even easier. There's less fields to fill out. You just need to plug in your information and then what the target fund allocation is going to be. So I've already plugged that in. Let me pull that up next. All right, so we're looking at the email that I got generated by using Jason Kelly's calculator for his plan. This is my HSA where I use the 6-sig plan. So I've already entered everything. This is the inputs that I had put in. I don't round to the nearest whole share because I use fractional shares. I have 193 of the stock funds, and the current price was $72.90. You can verify this for yourself looking at the stock funds that Six Sig uses, which is MVV. The bond fund that I use is BND. So it's currently got 47.28 of the bond fund shares, and their price was 73.58. So I got all of this by logging into my Fidelity account to get these numbers. And then I got the 84 from Jason Kelly's letter. So it shows the output here, what I need to do tomorrow. I need to sell 9.1 shares of the bond fund. Then I'll take the money that generated and I'll be buying 9.18 shares approximately of the stock fund. So this is my current bond fund, my current stock fund balance. This is my current bond fund balance. I currently have an allocation of 80% in stocks and 20% in bonds. After the trades go through tomorrow, the approximate value will be this for the stock funds, this for the bond funds. So it would be about 84% in stocks and 16% in bonds. Let's take a look at how some of that will look in action. So this is the screenshot from my HSA account where I've taken the BND symbol and I've got an order in for it to sell 9.1 shares at market, time in force 1 day, estimated value from that sell $669.58. Estimated gain $1.18. So that's all I can do in Fidelity today. I cannot place the buy order until after the sell order has gone through. But as soon as the sell order goes through tomorrow, I'll be able to go into there and put an order in to use that cash to buy the stock fund. I don't have to wait until those funds have settled. So now let's take a look at my M1 Finance brokerage account, and we can see how I use that to manage my income sig account and how much easier it is to use M1 Finance to do the rebalancing. So now we're logged into my M1 account with my traditional IRA. I follow Jason Kelly's 6 Sig plan. So I'm going to go into edit, and the last quarter we had it at 80% in the stock fund and 20% in the bond fund. We're just going to change that to 84% in the stock fund and 16% in the bond fund, and we'll hit save and confirm. And then I'm going to select rebalance and rebalance. Then it shows the pending trades. So tomorrow M1 will sell out of the bond fund about $400 and then use that cash to buy into the stock fund. Now I do slightly change some things that Jason Kelly does with his investing. For example, in the bond funds, I use SCYB and PYLD, and that he uses, I believe, AGG for the whole bond fund. But this shouldn't be too far off from the performance. Again, I recommend using Jason Kelly's website and reading through what he says to do. This is not investment advice. This is just what I'm doing. So this is the buy and sells that will be placed tomorrow with M1. Now let's go into my bridge account. In the bridge account, I'm following Jason Kelly's income sig plan, and I have modified it some to where I try to target 10% with the aggressive part of it instead of 30, and then 40 and 50% instead of 40 and 30%. So I just will place an order here to rebalance, and then it shows that tomorrow there will be selling about $1,000 of these bond funds and buying that same amount in the stock funds. We'll do the same thing for my Roth IRA account where I follow Jason Kelly's income sig plan, but again I use a more modified version of it, and I'm looking for about 10% in the aggressive part of the plan rather than the 30%. So I'll hit rebalance, rebalance, and then you can see that the trades for tomorrow will be selling about $3,100 worth of the bond funds and buying about $3,100 of the stock funds. So that's pretty much it, guys. I mean, it's that simple with the quarterly trades following Jason Kelly's plan. After all of the turmoil that we've seen over the last 3 months, all of the negative Nazis out there, the bears out there constantly saying that the market will crash, you can read the headlines. You can follow all of the bad news. I've got news for you that bad news is never going to end. I've been following these plans for years and I've learned to just be calm with it. And I get excited when it's time to do the quarterly trades, whether it's time to buy stocks or it's sell stocks. The formula will let you know. And more importantly, it will let you know how much to buy and sell. And you don't have to worry about when is the next time to do that because it's on the calendar already 3 months from now. Let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, let's continue to drive towards financial freedom.